What if I said you could own a game-worn logo from LeBron James? Or a piece of football thrown by Tom Brady in a Super Bowl? Or how about a slice of game-used bat swung by Babe Ruth? Well, thanks to memorabilia cards, you can own little pieces of history, bringing you closer to the game. And some of these cardboard collectibles can certainly fetch a pretty penny. But are they all valuable? What makes one better than the other? Let's explore the history of memorabilia cards. Memorabilia cards have been around for the past 25 years and have certainly revolutionized the hobby. It's crazy to think how rare these cards were in the late 90s to being guarantees in every box by the early 2000s. Anyway, for collectors and memorabilia cards, it's usually been a love-hate relationship. So how did it all begin? Well, back in 1996, card manufacturer Press Pass came up with this genius idea to take pieces of the rubber tires from NASCAR races and put them onto sports cards. The idea evolved to pieces of car sheet metal and even pieces of used fire suits. Next, Press Pass had another genius idea to take little pieces of jerseys from college basketball stars and slap them onto cards. And just like that, the sports memorabilia card was born. Other manufacturers took notice, as Upper Deck released the first officially licensed pro sports jersey cards in 96-97. The first ever baseball jersey cards belonged to Ken Griffey, Ray Ordonez, and Tony Gwynn. These cards were super rare, appearing in 1 in every 800 packs on average. Upper Deck also produced a 10-card set of NFL jersey cards and a 13-card set of NHL jersey cards, appearing 1 in every 2,500 packs. The following year, Upper Deck produced the first and arguably the most iconic NBA jersey card set of all time. Not only were these cards super rare, but this was also the first year of the autographed jersey card. You don't even want to know how much this Michael Jordan autographed jersey card sold for. Oh, you do? Well, it quickly became the most expensive MJ piece of all time, selling for a record $2.1 million. By the way, all the other cards from that set that don't feature MJ aren't worthless either. As the late 90s progressed, demand for jersey cards and later patch cards was through the roof. A patch card contains a piece of a player's jersey number, logo, or name, and usually has multiple colors. These are extremely rare and obviously more expensive. Then we saw the emergence of other relics making their way onto cards. Pieces of game-used bat cards became extremely popular with the iconic Piece of History set. By the early 2000s, we saw everything from pieces of game-used basketball, game-used floor, game-used shoes, and even pieces of game-used film. Even dual memorabilia cards featuring 2 players became extremely hot. Just look at this card. You could even get lucky and pull a piece of Babe Ruth's hair. Yikes. Who would want that? As demand increased, the odds of pulling inserted memorabilia cards improved. Instead of 1 in every 2,500 packs, these cards were appearing 1 or 2 in every box. The card companies even started advertising on the front of boxes how many relic cards were in every box on average. It got so crazy that in 2002, Topps produced a box where every single card was a jersey card. In 2003, LeBron James rookie jersey cards became a collectible staple. So did the high-end UD exquisite patch cards, which are still in high demand to this day. And by the mid-2000s, more and more multiplayer jersey cards began popping up. Some had 3, 4, 6, and even 10 pieces of jerseys on them. Eventually, the market became saturated with jersey cards, and the hype began to die down. According to Beckett, in 1996, there were a total of 151 unique memorabilia cards made. Over 1,000 in 1999, over 15,000 by 2001, and in 2005, there were almost 80,000 memorabilia cards created. Another issue was packs containing memorabilia cards were thicker than the rest, so pack picking became really easy. That's when card companies began inserting thick blank pieces of cardboard into every pack as a decoy. Also, stories would start to come out of collectors who would alter patch cards. They would remove the original authentic patch and replace it with a more appealing but fake patch. Yeah, not cool. Adding to the demise of jersey cards was the emergence of player-worn or event-worn jersey cards. They obviously weren't game-worn, which is not as appealing. Even though jersey cards were fun to pull, the value of most, including superstars, decreased. It seemed as though card companies were getting desperate to come up with the next best thing. That's when the Logo Man patch card started becoming more attainable. A Logo Man patch card is a card containing the NBA logo from a player's game-worn jersey. They're one of ones, which means it's the only one of its kind in existence. Sure, there were Logo Man cards in the early 2000s, but they were few and far between. Some of the most expensive cards in hobby history are Logo Man cards. This Luka card sold for a record $4.6 million ungraded. We've also seen a rapid growth in demand for rookie patch autograph cards, or commonly known as RPAs. Today, Panini National Treasures has emerged as the industry leader in dropping the sickest RPA cards. But some argue that the RPA cards only hold value because they're a rookie and autographed card first and a memorabilia card second. Today, there's nothing that can't end up on a sports card, including wash tags, pieces of hat, even the entire tongue from a game-used shoe. The design, scarcity, and innovation of these high-end sports cards have kept the allure of memorabilia cards alive to this day. It's safe to say that memorabilia cards have had a massive impact on the hobby. What sports card collector from the junk wax era in the early 90s ever thought it would be possible to take a piece of game-used ball, or jersey, or shoe, or a hat, or even a piece of hair and slap it on a sports card? And although a majority of standard memorabilia cards don't really hold much value today, they're still extremely fun to collect. We'll talk more next week on Mint Conditions.